behind there, so that we know what position you're speaking in.
Excuse me. Did you mark the number on that? Oh. Just mark the number. That's good, thank you.
So also a reminder that all of the candidates have brochures and handouts on the table behind, so please make sure and help yourselves to find out more about them. The protocol this afternoon is that each candidate will speak for up to 5 minutes, and after everyone has spoken, they will be mingling in the crowd, and any questions you have for them at that time, I'm sure they will be more than happy to answer. Roland Kelly is going to be our MC, and I will now pass the mic on to Roland, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Kenny. Like Ken said, I'm Roland Kelly. I'm the president of the Senior Friendship Club. I'm glad to welcome everybody here this afternoon. I thought our turnout was going to be a little low because it was slow starting, but I see there's a lot of people here now. And I know the advance polls were this weekend, and probably a lot of people have already voted, but there's no reason why we can't listen to what these candidates have to say. Like Candy said, they picked numbers, and I'll introduce them in that order, and then they'll have their, oh, there's another candidate just coming in. Good. Okay, the order that these, I'm not a political activist at all, so I haven't met any of these people. I know Ruben from working at ACL, I guess, but I haven't met any of these people before. And so I'll introduce them with what I got here in front of me, and then they'll have their time to state their platform, and then you can ask questions as they mingle meet with the crowd. Okay, so the first candidate we have is not here, candidate David Ainsworth, and it's Aris Renley that's representing him.
Thank you very much for coming, folks. Obviously, I'm not the candidate. I'm about 30 years his junior, but I am the campaign co-chair for his campaign, and I've got a little bit of a chance to know David Ainsworth, and he is a local businessman that is representing our party, the People's Party of Canada, which is a new party. We have only been around for about 12 months now, and what we are trying to establish is a new alternative on the political landscape in Canada. And what we are trying to do is bring back conservative values that have been going by the wayside as far as we can see. The main political parties seem to be all shifting towards the left. And we are trying to bring back some sense into the economy by bringing economic standpoints that make sense for the average Canadian. Not for special interest groups, not to pander to small, slivered, and we'll say particular interests. We want to ensure that we have a flat tax. We have a way for especially younger and older Canadians, those who are struggling with the cost of living in our day and age where everything becomes more and more expensive, for us to try to get ahead. As an older millennial, I can tell you that that's not easy. The cost of everything, the cost of education, the cost of housing, the cost of your heating is going up, and the wages are simply not keeping up with it. So what we need to do is ensure that our country remains competitive in the international markets. We have to make sure that we attract foreign investment by making sure that we lower taxes for individuals, we get rid of the capital gains tax to encourage investors to come into the country, to invest in our infrastructure, to invest in our education systems. We also want to do something that seems to be rather radical and a radical departure from what the other parties are suggesting, and that is we want to limit immigration to sustainable levels. We want to make sure that we're not bringing in people that cannot be housed and cannot be fed and do not have enough jobs to be employed in the long term and be economically productive for our country. We want to make sure that we respect the land rights and the ownership rights of individual Canadians. Your properties, our properties, are now under attack in terms of one legislation after another that are whittling away our rights to be able to defend either our own properties, our own children, as the rights of parents and grandparents. We can no longer allow government to make legislation that chips away at our freedoms. We are a party that is absolutely pro-free speech, and I'm sure you've heard all sorts of things in the media about our party and how disgusting, despicable, and racist and intolerant it is. It is none of those things. Our candidates are as diverse as the rest of the country, and it is simply slanderous. What we want to do is have a voice and allow for debate and open discussions, even on topics that are controversial, that are perhaps hot-button issues that our politically correct culture does not allow for anymore. We cannot say what we want in an open and public forum because people will shout down because they simply do not like our opinion. I very much thank you for coming, and I would very much hope that you get a chance to meet with our candidate, David Ainsworth. Our president of the Electoral District Association is Dan Mazur, who is sitting here, and you will have a chance to meet with him and myself in a little bit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll try not to hog the microphone. The next candidate is Mr. Dan Krieger, and he's an independent candidate.
Thank you. I'm Dan Krieger. Welcome. As he said, I'm an independent candidate, and like many of you, I'm not happy with what's going on in our country. There's all kinds of issues there. The political parties, they're going to tell you all kinds of stuff like that. I'm not going to give you the same song and dance pony show that they're going to give you. You've heard it election after election after election. They make the promises. They tell you the stories. The day after the election, you're forgotten. I have been planning this election for almost a year now because I'm unhappy with what's going on in our riding, Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke. I've traveled thousands of kilometers. I've spoken to thousands and thousands of people. I've met with the prominent mayors in our riding. I've spoken to healthcare professionals. I have spoken, I've spoken to numerous business people in Arnprior, Renfrew, Pembroke, Petawawa, Deep River. All of these people are telling me the issues that they have, from people that are 20 years old to people that are 80, 90 years old. After speaking with the prominent citizens in the community, they are waiting, basically, they're on board with me. They are waiting after this election. Once I win, on Monday, we will again meet, all of us. We will invite Mr. Yakubuski and any other provincial representatives who want to come. We will also invite any other people that are in different areas. There are a few people here that I will invite to be an advisory board to me. We will come up with one cohesive plan for Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke. We will not allow ourselves to be left behind anymore. We will take that plan, we're going to go after it federally, we're going to go after it provincially. We will get things done. I've run businesses in Pembroke and Petawawa for over 40 years. Successful and simultaneous businesses in different areas. I know how to get things done. Politics is about making deals. It's about knowing the difference between what's right, what's wrong. It's about keeping your word. It is about having a moral compass. And I'm sure all of you feel the same way I do. When I see our entire riding does not have one public transit system. The cities have it all. We get the scraps of everything that's going on from our governments. Okay? They don't believe that we're worthy enough. They haven't dealt with me yet. I plan on making sure that if somebody wants to get on a bus in Deep River, go to Pembroke to visit a friend, they should have that. If somebody in Pembroke wants to get on a bus, they should be able to do that. If we have a senior that lives in one of our communities, they should not be isolated and have to rely on other people. That person should be able to get on a bus if they want, on public transit, not have to make an appointment 2 or 3 days down the road. They should be able to go shopping when they want, visit a friend, visit family, not be isolated. There's all kinds of issues like this that are going on. I've had it. I'm quite sure most of the people in the riding have had it. I'm not going to take it anymore. I am prepared to stand for us. You have to get me there. You have to vote for me. Because once I'm voted in, I will meet with the people that we need to meet with to get the job done. And I'm on a mission. Nothing will stop me. This whole campaign, I'm financing on my own. I don't get the money like political parties do. I will make this happen. Thank you.
The next candidate in mind is Stefan Cleach. Did I say that right?
Yes. All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is, as mentioned, Stefan Cleach. I grew up outside of the town of Renfrew. I went to primary and secondary school there, and I studied political science at the University of Ottawa and finished that in 2014. This is now I'm seeking office in Renfrew County for the 3rd time, although I'm actually running for the 2nd time, because I was previously the Green Party candidate in the 2015 federal election, and I unsuccessfully sought the nomination for the Green Party of Ontario in last year's provincial election. However, last year I was expelled from the Green Party for respectfully persisting in disagreements with the leader, Elizabeth May. So, but I plan to run in every single federal election in this riding until I eventually become elected. So I sought candidacy with multiple political parties, and I became a candidate for the first political party that was willing to accept me running on their behalf without absolute fidelity to their platform. And so I ended up with the Libertarian Party. A libertarian principle that I strongly believe in is that we should stop making it illegal to sell things to people that you can give to them for free. So, for example, if it's legal to donate your kidney to someone for free, I believe it should be legal to be able to actually sell your kidney to someone. And if it's, well, legal to have sex with someone for free, then it should, in my mind, be legal to give sex to someone for money. It's just a matter of letting people sort out their own self-interest. But I've got many policy ideas of my own that aren't tied to the Libertarian Party platform. There's a nuclear waste dump that's being proposed for 1 kilometer away from the Ottawa River and around the Chalk River facilities. And I'm concerned about the impact that might have on our drinking water, so I'm opposed to that proposal. I believe that we need to have more MPs, each making lower salaries, so that our MPs are closer to the citizens that they represent, and more closely accountable to them. I believe that we have an opioid crisis in this country, and that clearly our existing criminal laws around recreational drugs are not working. Clearly, since people are getting a hold of dangerous drugs, regardless of the law, we need to ensure that there's a safe, screened supply of recreational drugs, and we need to do that through a regulation and taxation regime. I believe that our Constitution, the Constitution of Canada, is outdated and imperfect and in need of an update. We need to elect some politicians who will at least try to tinker with it. I believe that we should change the way that we tax corporations in this country so that corporations that are making low margins of profit are not taxed, but corporations that are making above average margins of profit are taxed. And that way corporations that are barely struggling to get by in Renfrew County would not be taxed out of viability. I believe that we should restructure our tax system so that we have less focus on income taxes and more focus on goods and services, like lesser income taxes, at least for the middle third income of Canadians, and then higher GST across the board so that fewer Canadians have to bother with filing taxes. So, to conclude myself then, I believe that I have the next generation of Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke in mind. I believe that I'm the kind of candidate and would-be MP who will have more than just the next 4 years in mind. And I hope that if you haven't been persuaded to vote for me in this federal election, that you'll reconsider voting for me in another future federal election. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Stefan. I'm not like a candidate. I get more than one chance to get things right. The next party to be represented is going to be the Green Party. Mr. Pino wasn't able to attend, and we have John Epps to represent.
Thank you very kindly. My name is Dr. John Epps, and I have the pleasure of representing the party on behalf of Ian Pino, who had an Algonquin College teaching commitment today that he could not get out of. I look around here and I see some fine candidates, I really do, and they have some good ideas. There's actually ideas in each of these chairs that make sense. And I just want to point out a difference. One difference in the Green Party is that we do not have a party whip in Parliament, and our candidates are allowed to select and work cooperatively, and we ask that others would work cooperatively with us when a good idea comes along. So I could see the future involving taking good ideas from any candidate, any party, and if they're the right ideas for Canada, let's get going on them together. Now, I'm an anesthesiologist, so I'll say honestly that I'm the only one in this room that can put people to sleep faster than a politician. We'll go over a few platform planks. Programs for seniors are a main plank of the Green Party. We fully support the recommendations of the Parliamentary Committee on Health to include prescription drugs dispensed outside of hospitals. It is a fact that today there are senior citizens who cannot afford to fill the prescriptions that are given to them by their physicians and nurse practitioners, and therefore they go without. We believe that the way to prevent that is to implement full farm care for all Canadians. We also recognize other needs in seniors where increasing prevalence of dementia and related illnesses, and we are prepared to develop and fund a national dementia strategy to include both research and treatment. In the future, if we are going to succeed, Canada will need many new professionals and scientists. We are tired of seeing new graduates carrying a debt load of tens of thousands of dollars. I'm sure you've all had, if not relatives, then relatives of neighbors who graduate from professional programs owing $20,000, $30,000. We believe it's so important that these students are given a chance to show their stuff that we would like to commit to eliminating tuition fees for students who demonstrate the ability to graduate and contribute to our society. We're also committed to investing an additional $10 billion in post-secondary education totally. That includes college, university, and trades. The Green Party bases its platform on evidence-based science. Prime Minister Jean Chrétien, there I mentioned one of the enemies, created a chief science advisor to help the cabinet make sound decisions based on science. Next time around, Prime Minister Stephen Harper fired him. The current Prime Minister has reinstated Dr. Mona Nemer in that very important position. We believe that this position should be in the future protected from political whim, and like the Auditor General, we should have a science advisor who can speak the truth and speak it freely, provide that information to all MPs so we make better scientific-based decisions. So I have to deal with the elephant in the room. The Green Party at present is not in favor of creating new nuclear power generation facilities. However, we do recognize that that is where the excellence, and in fact we're the only riding in Canada right now that has a facility for training, developing nuclear products in all of Canada. So this is a very special riding. The people of Chalk River and Deep River are the very best at what they do, and they have to be allowed to, again, use their scientific knowledge to create safe storage. We know that low-level and used fuel waste products need to be stored safely, and you are the people to do it, and we support you in that. We do have concerns about contracting out the waste disposal facility to engineering firms such as SNC Lavalin and two American firms that seem to be involved at this point.
1 minute more.
Very good. So we'd like to say that it's so important that you use your expertise to do this safely for us. It has to be done. You know that we have great concerns about climate change. I don't need to spend a lot of time on that, but I'll give you two quotes. In April 2019, the Government of Canada released its Changing Climate Report and said that warming trends will continue and increased precipitation will happen. Therefore, increased flooding is in our future. The Insurance Bureau of Canada reported a record $4 billion in weather-related claims in 2018, not as a result of hurricanes and big events, but thousands of property owners looking for compensation for weather damage. That's it. Thank you very much.
Cut you off, but that's the rules. Our next candidate is an independent candidate, and it's Virendra Kumar.
Thank you for inviting me here and the audience. My name is Virendra Kumar. I'm an independent candidate. I live in Pembroke and I volunteer in Pembroke. I'm a community volunteer with Pembroke Armory. I'm in the board of director of Pembroke Public Library. I'm in the board of director of Median Hill Long-Term Care Home. I'm running as an independent candidate. So there is two questions I'd like to answer: why I'm running the election and why I'm running as an independent candidate. So you know why Justin Trudeau came into the power, because people were not happy with the Harper government. And once he came into the power, for first 1 year, he was a selfie man. He was taking selfie everywhere. And the last 3 years, he's a selfish man. So this we know that. That's the reason I'm running for the election. Why I'm running as an independent candidate? I don't want to be involved with a political party. They give all kind of promise and they never fulfill that. They are habitually liars. I don't want to lie for anybody. I want to speak truth to myself, truth to my people, truth to the people of my riding. And that's why I don't want to be involved with the political party. You are very much aware what happened to Judy Wilson. She was kicked out of the caucus, out of the party. For what reason? So anybody who dare to speak truth, they cannot hold position in any political party, whether it's a conservative party, a liberal party, or name any political party. That's the truth. And I cannot do anything except the truth. The people and their problem. That's my problem. People issue. We are the developed country. Doesn't matter what problem we have in our community, we can resolve everything. Most of the things we can resolve. We have the resources. The only thing is missing is political will and political guts from our politicians, those who belong to established political party. My political agenda, you can say platform is have more long-term care bed for our seniors. In the community, people are waiting 3 to 5 years to go to the long-term care bed. And the people, those who require a safe environment, require supervised living, they need to go to the long-term care home, and we don't have enough. And that's not only a problem with us, but it's a problem at a national level. We need to resolve that. We need to have a child care center at the big places, like it's a hospital, it's a college, it's a other establishments where more people are working. They need to have a child care services at that place, at working place, where the fund is going to come from. So, I'm not a political party, and I'm not speaking lie. I'm not going to say, give it for free. What I'm going to say, run on the basis of no loss, no profit. So if you say, for example, if you have a child center, which require $1 million for 1 year, they have 100 seats for the children. So try to collect that much money from the parents, and that's the best way and sustainable we can do that. So I'm thinking about that. We need to have a soft loan. That means the loan without interest for our students, those who are going to the college and university and want to do some courses which is job oriented, where they can get the job. That's very, very important. I will give you the simple example. People those who want to become a teacher, they spend 6 years in the university to complete their course. And Ontario is one among the best places to work for. They have to wait for 4 years to get full-time job. That's not fair. And you know, if somebody wants to go and become a teacher, do the teacher's training course, we don't have it here. They have to go to the Nipissing, Ottawa, or Kingston. And by the time they spend 6 years, they have 100 to 150,000 as a debt. And that's not fair. That's the real wastage of our resources. We need to do better job than what is happening now. Thank you. We need to stop illegal immigration. And what is the illegal immigration? Any people, those who crossing New York border and coming to the Quebec, we need to stop that. I'm not talking about the refugee, the legal refugee what Justin Trudeau brought 35,000 people. They are not illegal. I'm talking about the people, those who are crossing the border. Justin Trudeau have spent $370 million he have given this year, the beginning of this year, to take care of them. $250 million to the Quebec government because they are crossing the border there. We need that money for our seniors, those who have worked so hard. We need that money for mental health. And you know, 11,000 people died with a drug overdose in Canada in the last 3 years. We need to protect that life. They are our people. That is a social problem, that is a medical problem, that is a mental health problem, and that is a law and order problem. We have failed as a community, we have failed as the government, and we need to resolve that. And if we have the political will, we can do that. So once you send me to Ottawa, I will take everything possible to fix this problem, and for details, you check my website, and some of the information is available here. Thank you very much.